Iran, welcome live from our studio center here in the capital, Tehran. You tune into PressTV International News. It's good to have you with us. The Syrian army has vowed to crush insurgents across the country following its success in retaking full control of al-Qseir, the main stronghold of foreign-backed militants in western Syria. The army also says the victory is a clear message to all enemies, especially Israel. It says citizens can return to al-Qseir in the coming days. The army regained full control of the city after weeks of fierce fighting with militant groups, including the al-Qaeda-linked al-Nusra front. A large number of insurgents were killed and many arrested. The militants say they have lost the battle, and there are reports of disputes between militants from the al-Nusra and Tawhid groups. Lebanon's Hezbollah fighters have been assisting the Syrian army in the battle against Takfiri militants in al-Qseir. Well, PressTV's Ala Ibrahim was in al-Qseir, and he joined us earlier to tell us the latest on the Syrian army's victory in this strategic city. He says the army is clearing the city of explosives planted by insurgents.
The Syrian army is carrying out cleaning operations inside the city of Qusayr, where they have to deal with many explosive devices that the insurgents have planted in various parts of the city. As you can see right now in our camera, the camera is moving right now as we speak, you can see the level and the scale of destruction in the city of Qusayr. Huge parts of the city were destroyed. In addition to that, the Syrian army right now has to deal with tunnels. These tunnels, some of them are booby-trapped, some tunnels the insurgents used it to store certain materials. Apparently there was a huge number of insurgents in the city, and according to the Syrian military sources, they told us that around dawn today, when the insurgents felt that the battle is the outcome of the battle is already decided, more than 200 pickup trucks carrying opposition fighters left the city and moved towards al-Buwaida village, which is to the north of Qusayr, which means that the fight for the Qusayr city might be over, but the fight for the area surrounding Qusayr is not over. The Syrian army will pursue those insurgents to the village they went to.
Our correspondent Ala Ibrahim there talking to us earlier. Iran has reiterated its warning about fanning the flames of militancy in Syria. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister, Hossein Amir-Abdollahian, has said certain parties who continue to send arms and support terrorist actions in Syria, well, they should be tried as war criminals. The comments came amid the continued support of Syrian insurgents by the West and some of its regional allies, support that has pushed Syria towards a war that has already destroyed the country beyond repair.
After almost 3 weeks of extensive fighting in the Syrian city of Qusayr, the army announced it's won the battle to gain control of the city. Syrian government forces backed by Lebanon's Hezbollah fighters launched their operation there on May 19th to push out the al-Qaeda-linked al-Nusra front and other militants. Following the news about the recapture of the city, Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister, Hossein Amir-Abdollahian, congratulated the Syrian people and the army. The Iranian official said those who support acts of terror in Syria and fuel insurgency there should face trial for war crimes. He also said those who arm the militants are responsible for the trail of death and destruction in the country. Iran has repeatedly expressed opposition to foreign intervention in Syria. Tehran insists that the unrest in the Arab country should be dealt with through dialogue and national reconciliation. The West and some of its regional allies, however, do not adopt the stance to the Syrian crisis. Qatar is among other countries funding and arming the anti-Damascus insurgents. It's a small Persian Gulf country regarded as the rising star of the Arab economies, thanks to its rich natural resources. Qatar has been a major role player in directing the extremist al-Qaeda-linked group in their fight against the Syrian government. But the U.S. ally has not done that well when it comes to democratic values. As one of the few remaining absolute monarchs, the Emir of Qatar has been cautious about the huge wave of change that's been sweeping the region in recent years. The Al Thani family has been ruling the tiny Persian Gulf kingdom since 1867. After over 100 years of autocratic rule, Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa came to power, talking about practicing democracy in Qatar. Yet he qualified himself to lead the country in the old-fashioned way by deposing his father in a coup in 1995. Qatar has an unelected monarchic emirate-type government. There are no democratic institutions or elections, and power is assumed on a hereditary basis. Its legal system combines limited aspects of Islamic and civil law codes in a discretionary system of law totally controlled by the emir. There is only an advisory council with 35 members, all of whom are appointed by the emir. Qatar, which hosts a big U.S. military base, has also tried to portray itself as a supporter of reforms by holding its first municipal elections in 1999. The country is also trying to extend its regional influence, drifting apart from Saudi Arabia as Washington's top Middle East ally alongside Israel. Qatar was among the first to join the Western military operation in Libya and is now pushing forward the anti-Syria campaign of violence through various means.